Welcome to post-final round coverage of the Charles Schwab Challenge presented by the TaylorMade TP5 and TP5X golf ball. Try it. What's the best that can happen? Russ Taylor here with you, and what a finish we just saw from Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas. Came down to the second playoff hole between Emiliano Grillo of Argentina and Adam Schenk. And it's Grillo becoming the second Argentinian man to ever win the Charles Schwab Challenge, after Roberto DiVincenzo did it in 1957 on the second playoff hole, the par 3 16th. A birdie for Grillo, and a second career PGA Tour win 7 years and 7 months after he first won on the PGA Tour. And let's bring in CBS Sports senior golf writer Kyle Porter. And Kyle, boy, it looked like for the longest time the course was going to be the winner today. It was chewing everybody up down the stretch. What did you make of the way Grillo was able to steady himself and finally come away with the win?
Well, it was incredible. You know, he had a lot of big putts over the last couple of holes. Made a 19-footer on the 16th hole in regulation, made an 8-footer on the 17th hole. And then to rebound from the double bogey that he made on the 72nd hole to fall into that playoff, I thought was pretty extraordinary. That's a double that I think would sink lesser players, and he just stayed the course. He stayed with it, made the birdie on 16 in the playoff, and got the second win of his career. This is in regulation. Kind of blows it off the planet here. It ends up in a creek, and he makes a 6. I mean, you know, that's a pretty devastating 6 when you've got a 2-stroke lead on the rest of the field. All you have to do is make 5, a bogey, to win the golf tournament. And he wasn't able to do it, but to bounce back from that 30 minutes later and then go on to win the event. He said afterwards that he didn't really care about making the double, which I thought was kind of crazy, but also just how you have to think as a professional golfer. So I was really impressed with the way he played for most of regulation, and then to bounce back in the playoff, I thought was really, really impressive.
Got a little gift from the golf gods, perhaps a couple of good bounces there in the playoffs, especially on his tee shot on the par 3 16th that nearly went in the bunker about a foot away and then bounced to within birdie distance for himself. Adam Schenk, not so lucky. He had 2 putts to win this thing, just had his first child. A terrific week for Schenk, but he comes up just short. It's Grillo coming away. Here's the payouts. Just over $1.5 million. Schenk nearly $1 million for finishing in second place. Scotty Scheffler and Harry Hall tied for third. They'll come away with a little over $500,000, and Paul Haley there in fifth, $356,700. Those are the payouts. For Schenk, how does he come away feeling about his game after this week?
Well, it's a good result. I don't know if the day was great for anybody. You know, nobody in those final few pairings necessarily played that well. Schenk shot 2 over 72. Harry Hall shot 3 over 73. Grillo shot, 2 under 68. So that was solid. But, you know, at the end of it, none of these guys really went out and got it. You know, it was Grillo, obviously, who made the putts and won in the playoff. But I think there's going to be some disappointment there for Schenk and for Harry Hall because they had it right there in front of them and just didn't take advantage.
And next year we'll see pretty much a brand new course and clubhouse there at Colonial Country Club. That's CBS Sports senior golf writer Kyle Porter. Kyle, thanks so much. And you can hear more from Kyle on the First Cut podcast. First Cut podcast, it takes you inside the ropes of the PGA Tour and more. Tournament previews and picks, deep dives into the players and storylines of the day. It's the First Cut podcast. Download and subscribe wherever you podcast.